Well, good morning. Today we're looking at Colossians chapter 3 and in verse number 1, where Paul said, if in the King James, but literally he's saying, since you have been risen. Of course, that takes you back to the previous chapter, chapter 2 and verse number 12, where you get the idea that since we were buried in baptism, wherein that we are risen with him. I want you to see that connection of being risen. And it's a good thought for the new year, isn't it? Because we're talking about a way of life. And since you have been risen and buried in baptism, now he says in Colossians chapter 3 that since this has occurred, since you have been risen, you come out of the waters of baptism. And he says this to seek after these things. The word seek there, of course, means to earnestly strive after. And he goes on to say that what we are to seek is those things which are above. And we want to look at that as we look at this further on in the week. But I want to just get you here where Christ sitteth on the right hand of God. And verse 2 is what I really want you to give some thought to today, because not only you to strive after, but what really is required here is for you to set your affections on things above. Of course, he just said that Christ sits there. We are to seek for those things rather that are above, not on the things of the earth. Now let's think about this for just a moment. Setting your mind. Of course, what comes to my mind is that story in the Old Testament where Delilah was trying to figure out the strength of Samson. He had this incredible strength, and so she set her mind on doing that. Of course, she was offered great reward. If she's able to accomplish that, they were going to give her all the gold you can think about. But they also were going to punish her if she did not. So she was really motivated, wasn't she? So she set her mind. I mean, that's what her mind was set on day in and day out, even to the point where she pestered Samson, where he finally caved. And so this idea of setting your mind on something, determined, and this is what you think about, and this is where your affections are, and this is where your desire is. And of course, the things above would be heaven, wouldn't it? Things like eternal life and the glory that God will bestow on the believer. So we're to set our mind on that and not on the things of the earth. Of course, that's a challenge for so many because their mind is set in so many different ways on this life as if this is the long haul. But again, this is so very important, is this where our mind is set is going to determine, you see, how we live our life. So we're going to talk about that a little bit this week, about where you're going to set your mind on. And you're going to set your mind on what you believe and what you really, really value. Well, that's a lot to think about this morning, isn't it? See you tomorrow.